I'm Mike Tuck, and you're watching Western Bass TV.
I'm Dave Rush, and you're watching Western Bass TV.
Stuff you got unique. What's really nice about this mask, what I like about this mask, is that over the course of time and fishing tournaments and quality and doing all this stuff with tournaments, or not even fishing a tournament, you're in your boat and you're running across the water, and the water comes off the top and it hits you in the face, or a bug goes poof and it hits you right in the eye or the right eye side, or those little bitty gnats in the morning, or if it's raining. The deflection off of these shields, this is not a paintball mask. It's designed strictly for boaters that want to keep that stuff out of their face. Wind, rain, sleet, snow, gloom of day. And it is an absolutely unique concept. The glass is all formed in a round formation so that it's going to give you ultimate visibility. It comes in different lenses. Pretty took a look at them. They're over here, the fish head people over there. I'm getting ready to start a little bit. Fish look pretty good in that tank. Get this bait out there. Let's see. I have some extra stuff. You guys might like some of this stuff. This is a new Berkeley Gulp. I'll tell you right now, I've been catching a lot of fish on this bait, especially when it just went in the fish tank. And I'll have to get that one out in a second. Oh, look at two of them in that tank. Look, the fish are biting. Look at that, the fish are biting. Look at that. Look at that, the fish are biting already. I love it. Now I gotta see if I can capture those two bags that land in that water. Let's see if I can do that. And then I'll get started here in a second. Get that up there. She's going to hit that current is what's going to happen, and then I'm never going to get it. And if you think I'm going to walk on this rim up here, that's another story. It ain't going to happen, guys. There's been a lot of times in some of the tournaments I fished that I thought I did walk on water. But no, you know what? This ain't going to happen here. This one will come on the boat. I'll net this one. Watch, look at the size of this one. I lipped it. Look at this. I lipped it. And you think I'm going to try to get that last one. That might be tough out there. Foul hook my plug. I'll be starting here in a minute. I'm kind of fooling around right here, limbering up, getting ready. Oh, the Fred Hall people want to thank you guys for coming out here, and the ASA. Your money that spent when you guys came here, the profit, 50% of the profit of this show here goes back to your fisheries. So that Fred Hall people really take care of our fisheries. So you want to thank those ASA people and the Fred Hall people. Take care of that. It's moving. I'm getting it closer, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting there. Dum, ba-dum, bum. If I get this back, who wants it? It's wet. Who wants it? I do. You do. You got the loudest voice. I think you're going to get it. You got the loudest voice, buddy. You know why I'm good at this? Because I can get these lures, because every time I used to fish when I was a kid, I used to throw them over the telephone wires. Don't be laughing, because I know you guys do too. Because I still see that stuff, all the wires. I still see them. Oh, that was good. I just kicked it backwards. It went underwater. Got a mountain stream going on here. Getting ready to start. You know what? That was so close. You ever knocked off your cell phone when you've been over? I'm like, I can't believe it stayed on, you know. Let's take a look at this bag right here. What do we got? A bag of trips for this gulp worms and stuff. We got it look good. So anyway, there I was, 10,000 feet without a parachute. My name is Randy Pringle. I'm from Northern California. I fish all over the Northern California area. I fished back east, used to fish a tournament circuit for many years. Had some success in that and done the Anglers of the Year and won quite a few tournaments and had some real good success. And now I do a lot of special events like this and promoting of the sport of fishing. And I like to teach. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take what I've learned and some of the unique things that I do, and I teach that because I feel that most anglers, when they go out fishing, no one ever teaches them all about fishing. And I think it's very important when you teach people how to fish. Now, bass fishing in general, that fish wanted that bait, huh? I just see this, oof. Oh, did he bite my bait? Oh, that was a special. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over several different lures today, and I'm going to talk about them because I think it's commonly what we hear about or we want to know about, more about how to catch these lures. This is what I'm throwing right now is called the gulp. The gulp bait, I know I just felt another bite. These fish are kind of like intuitive. They want to eat that gulp. It's made by Berkeley. There is no plastic in the bait that I was throwing out there. So if you guys haven't seen gulp, you've got to see it. There's a picture of it. If you guys haven't seen gulp, these fish love gulp. Berkeley gulp, guys. I'm telling you right now, there's no plastic in it. And if you throw it out there, you saw it, the fish eat that stuff. Look at, and the people eat it. Look at the people eating that stuff. So when you're throwing that stuff out there, the point I'm trying to make is not only do you eat it, these fish eat it too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over several techniques, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to go from there. Let's play the game. Let's play the game. Now, of all of you people, how many people use a lot of bait casting reels? Bait casting. You know what a bait casting reel is? That's the one with the level line on it. This is a bait casting reel. This is the one right here. I've got myself this brand new Abu Garcia. It's a 4007. And I've got this Berkeley Series 1 rod. And I've got this Persuader double buzzer, buzz bait. One of the finest buzz baits on the line. I've got it all hooked up. Now this is what usually happens when you buy this whole combination. You go out there to your local body of water and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, man, look at the combination I got. Yep, yeah, that's a nice looking combination. Watch this. Watch how far I can throw this bait. I'll get it out there. And the next thing that happens, you go like this. And you look down your reel and you say, oh man, look at that. You got this bird nest, the eagles flying around like that, and you got this big old bird nest. You're going, man, I just spooled that up, that brand new trilene line. I just spooled that up. So now you got to cut it all out. Well, what happens is, when I tell people is, don't try to overthrow these rods and reels. Don't throw it overhand. These rods are designed, and all fishing rods are designed, to what we call load up. And by just throwing it overhand like that, the common deal is when you're throwing it, oh, the microphone's walking out. The common deal when you're throwing this thing is to overthrow your rod. If you overthrow your rod, you're going to get those backlashes. So I always tell the people to don't push the rod, just throw it out there. You can throw it out there just soft, and you'll do just fine. Make it easy on yourself. Don't push it. If you push it, you're going to have more problems. Just softly throw it out there. Now, I've got a buzz. This thing keeps cutting out on me. I've got a buzz bait here, and what we're going to do is we're going to throw this microphone away in a minute. We're going to throw this thing out there, and I'm going to talk about this buzzbait. How many people throw a buzzbait? How many people throw a buzzbait? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 25, 35, 45, 65, and one more. The common problem with throwing a buzzbait is when you throw the buzzbait out there and you start reeling it back in, it hits the water and you let it sink just enough so when it hits the area where you're throwing it, if this is the spot and this is the tree and you throw the buzzbait, it hits it right here and it continues, it'll sink, and by the time it rises, it's that far away. You can't have that. You've got to make it right here. It's got to start gurgling and buzzing right next to the structure, and there's a way we can make it do that. When we throw that buzzbait out, when we throw it out, if I lift my rod up and then I click it over, it's going to sink. Most people do that. We're going to switch that up. What we're going to do is we're going to change that. We're going to throw that out there, and when we lower our rod tip down, is we're then going to lift it and it'll automatically come to the surface. Watch the difference now. My rod tip's out, it never sank. I haven't even pushed the reel in yet. I continue to do that by just laying it out there, put it down low, and I start lifting, engaging the reel for the strike. If you lower your rod tip to the bait will automatically rise. There it is. I lowered it and I lifted it. Because you want it to get on the surface as much strike zone as necessary. Most people have a tendency not to do that. Lower your rod tip, raise it up, keeping that bait. Now, I've been asked, how do you actually throw a buzzbait? You know, I throw it across the water. This is one of the most common things that I watch people do. When you're throwing any type of moving baits, you're thinking the bait's going to do all the action, but everybody else is throwing the bait the exact same way. They all bought the same bait, so they're going to throw it the same way. I don't teach it that way. I want you guys to make that bait look like it's injured. If there's a school of minnows swimming by, you got 50 minnows in the group, and they're swimming by, let me know. I want you guys to answer this question. Which one gets eaten? The injured one. This is for you. That's for you. Fetch. What else? What else? I heard that answer. Don't give me another one. That's injured. What else? The one with the big chest. I like it. What else? Slower one. The slower one. Give me another answer. The dead one. Well, that's the one that's going to get eaten. I like that answer. That's a good answer, buddy. The smaller one. The old one. The crippled one. The fat one. The skinny one. The kids that climb on rocks. Even the kids with chicken pox. Love hot dogs. You want to make that bait look like it's injured because Mother Nature has taught a bass or anything in Mother Nature, if it's injured, it gets eaten. If it's old, it gets eaten. I'm not mentioning anybody that's old in the audience. And if it's young and dumb, it gets eaten because there's very few old people that are dumb. See, a young person is dumb. Old person's wise. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that bait come across the top of the water. We're not going to just run it from point A to point B, because if you throw it from point A to point B and you're reeling it back in, you're what I call a chuck and winder. You're the person that just throws it out there, reels it back in, throws it out there, reels it back in. You might as well just be putting something else on your line, a dummy lure with no hooks, because you're going to do what everybody else does. This is what you change. When you're bringing that bait back, make it look like it's injured. When I throw that bait out there, I call it kicking. I make that bait move by kicking my wrist. Kick, kick. It changes that bait. Kick, kick. I don't do it to where it's a rhythm, but I do it enough to where it's walking across water. Boom! That fish eats that bait. That quick. And if you do that, it'll work a lot better. Now, to demonstrate that, I'm going to bring out another bait. This is a Persuader Double Buzz. Brand new on the market. If you're looking for buzz baits, try this one. I think you guys will like it. I'm going to demonstrate on a spinnerbait The same technique. On the spinnerbait, it's a sinking bait. It's going to drop down. But I'm going to show you on the exact same concept of the spinnerbait. As you watch that spinnerbait go from point A to point B, the fish look at it, but they don't want it. It's coming from here to here. If they want it, what's going to happen is they're going to have that bait hit the bait and come after it goes by them. If they see it just swimming in the water, just like this, they don't even pay attention. They go, whoa, yeah, I've seen that before. They're like this. Revenge. Striking. Oh, there's a persuader. Oh, you know, I ain't seen one of those bombers in a long time. Ah, dang, that's like a nostalgic right there. Yep, see the old hook? No. This is what you got to do. Same thing with the buzzbait. You're going to kick that bait. If you kick that bait, watch what happens when I kick it. Watch the blade. Don't watch me. See it flutter? See it flash differently? What that does, it keys that fish. That fish will turn around. I just saw a fish turn around. When I kicked, that fish turned. Now, these fish have seen every bait in the box. Right now, all they want to really do is just let me go home. That's what these fish are saying. All right, man, everybody's throwing stuff at us, man. Let me go home. Put me back in the reservoir. Now watch, I kick the blade. I don't pull it. Watch the difference when I pull it. If I pull it, it moves faster. It doesn't do what I want it to do. I want it to kick. Kick. If I kick it, it flutters. It looks like it's injured. It looks like, it just looks like it wants to die. And that's what we want it to do. We want it to look like it just fell in the water and it's dying. Kicking that bait. Bring it down, kick it. If you kick that bait, you'll get more quicker, violent strikes. From right now till about October, November, throw a spinnerbait. This is a persuader spinnerbait. Gold on your muddy water as you got right now. You got a lot of muddy water going on because you got a lot of influx. Is an excellent bait to throw. Kick it. Reel it in. Don't pull it. Watch my wrist. I don't make it a rhythm. I just bring it back through the water. That will make that fish react on that bait. He's going to go, holy smoke, something's in the water. Boom! He eats it. Now, we talked about spinnerbait. Let's move on. I love to move on because I want to keep it moving. Now, we're going to throw a crankbait. Now, the crankbait is basically the same kind of concept. With the other baits, tied a knot. The crankbait, if you do it the exact same way as all the other baits, you're going to find that you're going to catch a lot more fish with the crankbait. Just instead of it. I'm going to ask this question. You have to be honest with me now. When you throw that crankbait out or any spinner and you're reeling it in, have you ever seen the fish come up right behind it? Have you ever seen the fish come up right behind it and turn? You do that. And I can tell you why. The fish didn't want to eat it because this is what's going on. That fish sees that bait. That fish goes like this. That thing's going to keep going, man. I ain't got the energy for that one. And a big fat fish? Oh, man, a big fat fish goes... Be a burger. A lot easier. That's the difference. You have to make that bait look desirable to that fish. If you're just going to throw it out there and bring it back, what do you call that person? No, yeah, you do that. Very good. But I called it something else. What did I call it? Chuck and winder. You're a chuck and winder. All you're doing is chucking it out and you're winding it back in. When I throw this little crankbait out here, this is a Strike King crankbait. If you watch it, here's a chuck and winder. These fish ignore it like it was the plague. They just go, yeah, right. I've seen rebels, I've seen Poes, I've seen everything today. Now you're going to throw me a Strike King, you think I'm going to bite that? Yeah, right. These fish are going, angler, what a schmuck. Thinks he's got all those patches and he knows. what we're going to do here is watch the difference. Watch this bait right now. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Kicking it. You kick it, it looks like it's injured. When you deflect off of something, you bump the stump. You've heard that term, bumping the stump. You got to bump the stump, hit the rocks. If you can't reach them, you can't bump them. And if you're fishing a lake that doesn't have stumps, how do you bump them? I watch a guy on TV, I'm not going to mention his name, I won't do it. But impersonation, it looks kind of like this. When he's reeling the fish, you might have recognized that person, I won't mention who he is. But now, he's fishing around stumps, you want to bump them, but we got no stumps, we can't bump them. So, create your own stumps, kick that bait. Wiggle it, kick it, just use your wrist. Choo-choo. If you use your wrist, you're going to catch a lot more fish, making the bait look like it's injured. It's going to create that thing to make it look, and then you can pause it, you can reel it back in. Just don't reel it back in. Don't do from just reeling it back in. Now, one of the things that I like about all these style baits, because when you reel them in, you can make these baits do what you want them to do. All you guys out here fishing the Southern California, you guys got to throw these great big old baits. See, from Northern California, I catch fish this big. Out here in Southern California, you guys fish with fish this big. So shoot, I'm telling you right now, this bait right here, this is a Tyler. It's real new on the market. I put this big gold one on because it would just demonstrate what it looks like in the water. And for all you guys that, man, all I want to do is catch big fish. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you want to throw a big fish bait, this is a big fish catching bait. It's called a Tyler. It looks like a big old goldfish. This fish sees that bait and goes, like Yoda. Oh, yo, lunch. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, this bait right here, lunch. Oh, ready for lunch. They want to eat this bait, huh? But that's pretty cool. You know, when you're throwing this big old bait, it's not a big old thing, it's a big trout-looking bait, and it's injured. And these fish want to eat a big injured bait. These little baits, here's the deal. Let me pick out somebody. I'm going to pick on somebody.
Right here, this little girl right here.
No, I can't. Oh, no, she's too good looking. That man way in the back with that LA shirt. My good man, what's your name? Chris. Chris, when you go out for dinner, do you go out like for a sprig of lettuce? And like you want like the sorbet? You want a steak? I want a baked potato. Put the sour cream. You got to put it all on there. And when I order the salad, put the blue cheese on there. And just like, yeah, bring the pepper grinder over. And yes, I'll take the appetizers of wings, please. Oh, you got onion rings too? Give me a batch of those. A big fish wants a big bait because a big fish does not want to sit there and eat 50 little baby minnows this big. It won't fill him up. Got to throw a big bait for a big fish. These fish are looking at this bait. If you guys want to know the name of this bait, it's called a Tyler. And it just proves to you that I just saw, in this tank it's got a lot of gleam. If I put my glasses on, it's going to work real good. But I saw a glimpse of a large fish, and all your reaction told me that somebody's coming at me. I heard the sound in the background. I'm not sure if you heard it, but it went like this. Dun, 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 dun. I heard it. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I heard it, man. Oh, 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 oh. You can see how to make that thing work. It just works so simple. And it doesn't take a genius to run it. Just throw it out there real soft and just reel it back. Oh,
Oh, there he goes again.
oh.
There goes the big guy.
Let it stop? Let it stop? Okay, I'm letting it stop. What do you want me to do next? Let the fish catch it? I don't want that fish to eat that bait. I'll get in trouble. The guy who owns this whole place, he's called the Fish and Game. And he will get upset, and I can't have a fishing game get upset with me. So if you guys are interested in this Tyler, you just saw, that is a bait. That is a big fish catching bait right there. Right there. I always wanted to know this, and you guys can help me out with this. There's enough of you guys to ask you this question. Please answer this question. Why is it you get a guy from California who fishes California, talks like I'm talking right now? This is funny. He'll go like this. So my name is Randy Pringle. I've been fishing out here in California a long time. And then you hand him a bass rod. So anyway, what I was talking about the other day, where'd the southern accent come from? Like you just got back from Louisiana. I'm going to tell you, why does everybody start talking? I look at the guys on TV. Yeah, well, I've been fishing right here, right around those freaking all there, by that lawn right there. What the heck he just say? He was just talking English a minute ago before he jumped in that bass boat and grabbed that bass rod. It's something wrong with the bass rod. You know, you just start talking like that. I have no clue why, but it does. Now, we've been talking about like these bait casters and these hard baits. Well, and I threw out some of that new power, that Gulp by Berkeley. And I'm telling you right now, what is unique about a lot of different things, kids and new anglers have a problem when they fish in new baits, is because the problem is they can't utilize some of these baits. They can't work them. And so, because of those bait casting reels, I tell people, if you don't throw a bait casting reel, how many people throw a spinning reel? How many people throw spinning reels? They work. They catch a lot of fish. Always have, always will. The whole concept of catching...
Got one of the big ones.
No, he didn't spit it out. Randy let him go. You know, play game like that. That Gulp, they eating that Gulp right there. And that right there is a very, very sharp hook. That's a Daiichi. That's that new standout hook. If you guys have ever seen that hook, that is the cat's meow on hooks. Now, let me finish my... Hey, fish, leave me alone for just a second. I'm doing a seminar here, and I've got to talk to these people. Leave me alone. Now, spinning rods are one of the easiest things to utilize. But one of the problems I watch with people is they have a problem with spinning rods. One of the things I've noticed is when you throw a spinning rod, it's hard for it to get accuracy with a spinning rod. Is it hard or what? Because you're trying to throw it in there. This guy's good. You don't have a problem? Yeah, that boy, Bill. Dance. Junior, that up, baby. Most people do. Most people do have problems with spinning reels. Because what happens is, and don't tell me people don't have problems, because I see the telephone wires. They're up there. Why do they have lures up there? Because you sit there and you cast them like that, and then you watch that lure, the thing goes like this. Here's the line, goes. And all of a sudden you see this. After it wrapped about 6 times, you're going, oh man, that's... Right next to it, right there, that other plug right there. See right to the left side? Got that plug right there. So you see, it all looks like a Christmas tree everywhere. There's just a bunch of different kinds. I think you do that so that you can pick which lure everybody else is throwing. So now, I've got a couple tricks. You guys got homework today. Yep, you got homework. I know it's your weekend, but you got homework. This is what you're going to teach you today. Spinning reels are easy to utilize. With the spinning reel, you're going to open that bail up. When you open that bail up, I want you to touch the top of that spool with your finger, like this. Now, I want you to practice at home, because if you practice on the water, what's going to happen is you're going to foul it all up, and your buddy's going to look at you and go, man, I don't know where you learned that, but that looks like a fool. He goes, well, I saw this guy, man, he had patches all over his shirt. You know what he looked like, you know what he was doing. He was nobody. Put your finger on top of the spool. Once you put your finger on top of that spool, I want you to drop that line down by doing this. Touching the top of the spool and letting off. Okay? Now, you practice that. Watch me over here, people. You open that bail up, you touch the top of that spool, and you just let go of your finger, off and on. And you can stop that line. So when you throw that lure out, watch what happens. I throw that lure out, I can stop it by putting my finger on that spool. I can stop it wherever I want to stop it. Now, remember I told you have homework? homework. That means plural. You're doing more than just one thing. Here's the other thing I wanted you guys to do. When you're throwing a spinning rod, you do not want to do this. And I said do not want to do this. When you throw it, I never want to see another person in this show because I'm going to be looking. I'm watching you. And I know where most of you live. And I have means and ways. There's photographs right now. Look at the cameras. They've been taking pictures of you. And you're looking. At a bridge. Never do this. Watch what I do. Never do this with a spinner reel. Did you see what I just did?
Yeah, you close the bail.
I closed the bail with the reel handle. Oh, isn't that what it's made for? Sure. It's not right. When you throw it out there and you click it over like that, there it is. There's a loop right there. When you get that loop, you reel it on in. When you reel it on in, your next cast, it goes right through the first eye and gets stuck right here. And you're going, oh man. And your line's about 25 feet out, and you got a knot right here. You've seen it. Or it comes off the spool and goes, happens all the time.
Oh, you got 2 contests on the break.
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Use your finger. This is what I'm going to teach you. I taught you one, I'm going to teach you the other. When you're sitting at home and you're watching TV, your TV of choice, you're sitting there. I want you to sit there, open the bail up, put your finger on that spool, and I want you to drop it down. When you drop it down and you hit the carpet in front of you, take your left hand, put the bail over, line up the line, and then reel it back up. And repeat that. Just by lifting your finger and dropping it down, taking it, flopping it over, lining it up, reel it up. So it's automatic. Now people say, man, that can be tough. Here's the number one reason. If you don't want to have the line all fouled up, here's the other, and this is the number one reason. I'm going to demonstrate that. Sir, you're going to help me with this demonstration. What's your name, sir? Art. How you doing, Art? I'm going to throw this over to you. It's got a real sharp hook. Please don't get it near you. If you grab a hold of the hook I set, don't yell. Just sit there. What I want you to do is I want you to grab the sinker on the ground right there, if you would, please. Art, would you grab that sinker? Now, Art's going to lift it. I'm going to do this over here, so if you guys can't see Art. Everybody over here, can you see Art? Say hi to Art. Okay. Art, right now I've stopped the line with my finger. That's all I've done. And I'm going to click that bail over. All I'm going to do is going to click it. I'm not going to reel it up. I'm going to click it. Watch. Don't let go. Just watch that worm. Everybody watch that worm. Did you see what happened? It jumped. It sent a signal from this line all the way down that line, all the way to that. And that fish in water will hear that. It's a signal. Sound travels faster in water, does it not? Yes. Go ahead. Thank you, Art. I'm going to do that over here now, for you people over here in the cheap seats. Actually, you're sitting in that boat. That might be a nice place. That was a nice boat. These Triton boats right here, sponsoring this fish tank. Sir, you're going to be my guinea pig. What's your name? Dave. How you doing, Dave? Grab a hold of that sinker. Grab that hook right there. Grab that hook real tight. The hook, too. No, I know. I won't. Sure, I won't set. Just teasing, Dave. Did you guys all see Dave right there? Dave, turn this way so these people behind you can see. All right, can you guys all see that bait? Watch what happens when I turn that bail over. See that worm jump? That's all it has to do. It jumps. It's sending a signal down. It's telling that fish, slapping that fish in the face. Go ahead. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. So, we're going to practice that. We're going to practice that until we get good at the house, lining it up, and then moving that bait in. If you practice that, you'll find yourself doing it much, much better on your fishing. You won't be scaring the fish. Now, when you do this, please, and I say please, that fish was coming, man. I see the splash. That fish was coming. So, when you're practicing at home, right, do me a favor. Never, ever do this technique at the house with the cat in the room. It is not good, man. It's terrible, man. The cat's sitting right there. The cat comes over and is pawing at it. You're like looking the other way, like, "Meow." All of a sudden you get the hook caught in her foot. "Meow." Oh shoot, honey, the cat. I'm giving it line, hon. She's going right the couch. Play her. Cat's just flopping off. You can just get a visual on that, can't you? It's terrible, ain't it? Cat lovers are going, "Oh, that guy's terrible." All right, so I got a lab now, and the lab wants to fetch it. So what I'm saying is, when you're working that stuff, learn the techniques. Everybody goes, "Well, how do you throw a worm?" You're going to learn it. Fish everything slow. I'm going to go to my next technique, which I like to talk about. How many people have heard the technique of flipping? Flipping? Flipping. How many people have not heard of flipping? Good. So how many people did not answer that question? That makes sense. I like that. At least people are honest. I like to show flipping because it's something that I do each and every day when I'm fishing. And I fish during the season, like starting next week, I'll fish 5 days a week, 4 days, 5 days. And I'm on the water a lot. And I find myself, because flipping, if you do flipping a lot, flipping is a designated concept of bringing the bait out on a low trajectory. You don't cast overhand. You want to get it underneath that tree. You've got that tree that's shaped like this, and you got that little slot up underneath it. And you can't cast it like this because you'll land in the tree. And if you throw it like that and it lands in the tree, then you're sitting there going, pow, and you break that line too. So you got one up in the dang top over here, and then you got the one over here. Flipping makes you slide it up underneath those trees. And that's what you want to be able to do. Now, most people that I've watched have the tendency to flip traditional. The traditional way to flip is by taking the line out and pendulum it out in front of you, swinging the bait out, swinging the rod tip down. If you watch the way I do this, if you watch it, you'll see that I use a lot of body parts. I'm doing it this way. But what happens when you do it like this is what happens. See the one arm longer than the other? It's a bummer, but it happens, It actually will use up every part of your body. I've heard so many people say, "Man, I flipped all day, I'm sore." Well, dude, I flip every day. And I've learned throughout flipping that if you flip right, you're going to do a lot better. Now, golfers, fly fishermen, understand the concept here. It's a concept. I want you to listen to this now. A golfer, when they strike a ball, they bring their club back, follow through, and come through it loading up the shaft. I said loading up the shaft. A fly fisherman does the same thing. He brings back the rod, makes one fluid motion, brings it forward, bringing back and loading up the rod. He doesn't stop behind him. He continues his flow. Now, what I notice, most people don't utilize the rods. This is a Fenwick rod. This Fenwick flip and stick, the Abu Garcia reel, great combination. What it's going to do for you is real simple. Loading up the rod. It's called parabolics. Parabolics is the design of the arc of a rod. The rod on any rod, whether it's a spinning rod or a bait caster, the eyes are up. Because it's made to do it that way. Don't do it this way, it's made to do it this way. Spinning rod, the rod is made to go down here. The eyes are made to go on the bottom. Don't flip it up because it won't work properly. It's parabolics. Watch what parabolics does. See the plug right here in the air? All I'm going to do is rotate my wrist. My elbow never leaves. See that right there? Watch here. All I'm doing is rotating my wrist. And if you watch what that bait does, it loads up. You guys have always wanted to know how these guys do that cast. This is what they're doing. You're loading up the rod. And by loading up the rod, if you look at my body motion, my body's standing straight up and down. It's not having any problems here. I'm not out of focus. Now, when I do my flipping technique, just like before, it's all the exact same. I'm here. Instead of like this is traditional. This is traditional. Look at my body. Now, this is Mr. Randy Pringle's technique. I'm rotating my wrist, loading up the rod. If I load up the rod, it allows me, all it does is, as you can see, my right arm stays in a position. One position the whole time. And that's what you want. This technique will make it so much easier, because if you're learning how to pitch, which is like this, traditional pitching. See my arm, see my body? I extended it to get it out because I used force. Arm strength, back strength, reel speed. Oh, I gotta have a fast reel because I gotta get it out there. This is one of the slowest reels on the market for throwing it out. It's not that fast. This is about $59.99, this reel right here. I use them all the time. Works great. It's a grenade. You can't hurt it until you hook a big one and you fire that baby up. So, if you watch, this is old. Watch the new. See that? Rotating my wrist. That's all I'm doing. If I arc my wrist, I'll have an easier on my back, my body, and just by arcing my wrist. I'm in position. I'm here. I'm not extended out. I'm here. I rotated my wrist. My elbow's locked in for the hook set. Too many people I watch say, man, he hit me right when I hit the water and I couldn't get the hook set. It's because you're out of position. Getting out of position creates all that problem. Rotate that wrist and you'll do a lot better. Just rotate that wrist, come right out over there. Now, all you people out there that have fished, and one of the problems they always have is like learning how to throw a knot out there that you can actually utilize. And my eyesight's getting worse as I get older, or I have problems with knots. I have a knot that I want to teach you guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate it once, and then I'm going to come off this tank. I'm going to stand right down here, and I want everybody to learn this knot. This knot is one of the easiest knots in the world to learn. I'm going to do it, like I said, once up here, and then I'm going to go down because it is a neat knot. I'm going to cut it with this giant knife that I have. You know what? It was a nice, because I did this, been doing this all week long, and I didn't have a knife, and this gentleman goes, "You need a knife, man." And so he gave me this knife, and I was like, that was nice. Now I can't get it home because we're flying in a plane. Can't even get over there with a pair of tweezers. They took it away from me. A pair of tweezers. Move this plane to Jersey, or I'll cut your fingernails. All right, watch this knot. It is the easiest knot known to mankind. I stick it through the whole of life. You're going to all squint, but remember, I'm going to show you down there. Now I have that knot. It's ready to go. For people that have bad eyesight, watch this knot. Okay, watch me and watch the knot. That knot's done. All I gotta do is take off the tag in. It's done. How long did it take me? How many seconds? 7 seconds. That man is right behind me. He was right. Try some of this gulp. You saw it work. This is Berkeley Gulp. You guys try this Berkeley Gulp. I'm telling you right now, this stuff works really good. If you use this Berkeley Gulp, it will catch fish. You saw it catch fish. You saw them eat that stuff. And I'm telling you right now, you got to remember when you're throwing Berkeley Gulp, fish it slow. If you fish it even faster, what happens is you're not going to catch as many fish. Fat fish don't want to move. So make sure you guys are fishing, and you guys will have a lot more fun. My name is Randy Pringle. They call me the fishing instructor. I'll be right down here. If you want to learn that knot, come on over. I'll show you how that knot's done. Thank you guys for letting me come out here, huh?